Beyond the buzzer, inside the game, this is Sports IQ with Larry Smith.
Sports IQ, glad you are here with us. Hump day. We're here on a Wednesday. Larry Smith here. We're here with you, producer Tony, editor Josh as well. Great show for you coming up. In a couple of minutes here, we will talk with Evan Bland about the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They're 3-0 once again. Why there is such optimism. Matt Rhule, remember what he did previously at Temple and Baylor, maybe following the same script out in Lincoln, maybe. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Also, a bit later, Calum McAndrew is coming along as well as we're continuing our conversation on college football. So much stuff going on, talking about the Missouri Tigers in the SEC. They're back in the top 25. Let's get a couple of headlines right now before we bring on Evan. In the WNBA, Paige Bueckers. Not shocking that she's the WNBA Rookie of the Year. Shocking that it wasn't unanimous. Sonia Citron of Washington got 2 votes to keep her from being unanimous. But Bueckers was a superstar from the time she walked on the court on that Friday night on May 17th against the defending runner-up Minnesota Lynx way back then. She's been outstanding. Had a league-high 44-point game during the season. Nobody else had more than 40 this season. That 44 points, the rookie, that is a rookie record, single-game record, was outstanding. I think single digits scoring only once all year long. Dallas didn't do much, but they're a franchise that's working. They'll get a high draft pick next year. But Paige Bueckers was the real deal. By the way, UConn now becomes the first ever school to produce Rookies of the Year in the NBA and WNBA in the same season as Stephen Castle did it for UConn, for the men, for San Antonio. So congrats to Paige. Paige Buckets, as we call her. She was outstanding. Now, the WNBA playoffs getting interesting last night after all 4 home teams won on Sunday. Looked like things might go chalk into the second round, but as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. The Aces went into Seattle last night, riding that 17-game winning streak, looking to close out the storm. But Skylar Diggins, 26 points, including a jumper with 4.2 seconds left in the lane. Nneka Ogwumike had 24 points, 10 rebounds. Seattle forcing a deciding Game 3 tomorrow night, 86-83 win over Las Vegas. Seattle winning its first playoff game since 2022. And again, Game 3 tomorrow night in Las Vegas with a spot in the WNBA semifinals at stake. The Atlanta-Indiana series moving north to Indianapolis. 2 teams that haven't had much recent postseason success. The Dream trying to get their first postseason series win since 2016. The Fever haven't done it since 2015. Atlanta had the chance to close it out, but Kelsey Mitchell with 19 points, 4 3-pointers as well. Aaliyah Boston, 15 points to lead the Fever past the third-seeded Atlanta Dream, 77-60. This game was actually wider open than that in the second half before the Dream closed it late. They just could not hit anything last night. Tahita Paopao, the rookie from South Carolina, scoring 11 points off the bench to lead the Dream. Ryan Howard, 10. The Dream, 25 points short of their regular season per game average. Alicia Gray adding 9 points, 7 rebounds despite playing through foul trouble, clashing briefly with a couple of fans courtside there midway through the fourth quarter. They were ejected from the game. This deciding Game 3 is tomorrow in Atlanta. College football this past weekend, Clemson, which is a preseason top 10, lost their second game of the season to Georgia Tech. Now they're at 1-2, and some people now thinking it's a program at a crossroads. When his weekly Tuesday press conference, head coach Dabo Swinney let out some frustrations over the way his program is being portrayed right now.
If they want me gone, if they tired of winning, they can send me on their way because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Is that not good? I'm just asking. Is that good? I don't know if that's good or not. To win your league 8 out of 10 years, to go to the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, to be in 4 national championships, win it twice. Yeah, we're a little down right now. Take your shots, but I got a long memory, in case y'all don't know. We'll be all right. We'll bounce back. This is a program built to last, always has been, always will be. And I would just say if you give up on us if you don't believe on us because we've lost 2 games down to the last straight and you didn't believe in us anyway, so it don't matter. What's so bad about our program? What's so bad about it? Like, what's so bad about the worst season that we've had 14 years? How many programs in college football would sign up for one, and only once, 14 years of 9 wins? How many programs would sign up for that? In the playoffs, so we all talk about we've been 7 times in 10 years. Who can say that? If we stink because we haven't played for the national championship since January of 20, well, I guess we stink. Or we haven't won it since January of 19. We haven't won the national championship. Well, then I guess we stink. But why are we held to a different standard from all these other teams out there who ain't ever won nothing?
Clemson will look to get back on the winning track this Saturday when they take on Syracuse at home. By the way, the Orange 2-1, and new quarterback Steve Angeli has already thrown for over 1,100 yards this season and 8 touchdowns. College football, once again, talking about this, and we talked about big weekends among teams that are both ranked in the top 25, but there's one in particular that doesn't fit that category, but nonetheless has got our attention. Number 21, Michigan, is at Nebraska, and if you followed the career of Matt Rhule, it's almost like the blueprint that was laid out when former Nebraska AD Trev Alberts brought him to town is working. So in Matt Rhule, in his coaching career, he's made 3 stops, right? Temple, Baylor, now Nebraska. Well, in Temple, year 3, he gets 10 wins. At Baylor, year 3, he gets 11 wins. Well, here we are. He's 3-0 already right now and going into this game. Hey, talking more about this, he knows more about this team than I do. Evan Bland, he's sports writer for the Omaha World-Herald, joining us once again on the show. Evan, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me, Larry. Yeah, it's a fun time to be following Nebraska.
Yeah. We talked, over the summer about this team, and it was all optimism. We hope things are going well. The young quarterback, he's got a year behind him. And right now, 3 weeks in, this feels like the team that everyone there in Nebraska was hoping they would see on the field at Memorial Stadium every Saturday.
Yeah, it's feeling that way. They won 5 of their last 6, won a bowl game, got back to a bowl game last year for the first time in 7 years. So you're knocking off some old, some old dust. You're knocking down some walls during this program renovation that Matt Rhule has going on. And 3-0 this year, haven't really played an opponent that's moved the needle yet. We'll see. They beat Cincinnati and Kansas City, and that's a team that it could end up being decent. But you follow it up, you obliterate Akron, and then you handle your business against Houston Christian. And I think what we've learned in those games was that Nebraska, you talk about like a culture shift under Matt Rhule. I think what we're seeing is this is a team that's becoming internally motivated. So they want to be the best version of themselves. They want to put quality tape out there to see. It's not so much the scoreboard. It's not the result even necessarily. It's sort of that process. And it sounds like lip service a little bit in year 1, but I think by year 3, that's what you're seeing, to where they are pulling away and just beating down these opponents that maybe in the past they kind of played down to their level 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. So that's the encouraging part here. Obviously, the talent level really takes a step up now in Big Ten play, starting with Michigan. It's a huge game to just sort of gauge the progress of the program. And I know people locally are very excited. It's going to be a huge game Saturday.
Yeah, awesome game. 2:30 local time kick, I believe. 2:30. All right, you're an hour behind East Central Time Zone on CBS. That marquee afternoon matchup that everyone is paying attention to. You talked about culture shift, and we talk a lot about that here on the show. How big it is. We just discussed yesterday about the Chicago Bears. How Bears fans, new coach. We're gonna no. You've got it's a bad culture. You got to get rid of. We've seen it at Illinois with Brett Bielema. We've seen it at Indiana with Kurt Cignetti. And I think Nebraska, with the fantastic tradition, but has not been consistent in recent years. And now you've got a chance, like you said, to get these young men coming in. Matt Rhule, day 1, like you said, it does seem like lip service at the beginning, but we don't see what happens there in that locker room. And it does feel like that shift is happening right now. And again, here's a big test for that. Tell us about this Nebraska team. What's the big thing that's, like you said, 3, the one good opponent, the other 2 money games, they are what they are. What's the one thing that you've seen out of this Nebraska team so far that maybe you haven't seen in the past?
Well, I think certainly what I mentioned with the culture part, like they have tended to play down to those opponents in the past. That's encouraging. The thing that I have seen that I think carries over the most into what's to come would be the Dylan Rhule piece, and just seeing how he's progressed as a quarterback. No interceptions, no turnovers to this point. He's somebody who the coaching staff gives a lot of freedom to. at the line. So he can change protections, he can flip plays, he can change plays. They have that much trust in him, and he's still only starting his 17th game this weekend. So you remember he started all year as a true freshman, and there were some growing pains. He certainly had some wow moments where he's flashing that arm talent. But I think the identity of the offense has been, especially under Dana Holgorsen since he arrived last November, is take the routine play, get the ball. They like to say, put the ball in play, make the completions, let your skill guys do something with it. And so that he's completing his passes at nearly an 80% clip through 3 games, no turnovers. Wow. They've upgraded the skill spots all around him. Dane Key comes in from Kentucky. He's been a playmaking receiver, really good. Ja'Cory Barney, who was at Nebraska as a freshman, has taken another step. And Isaiah Hunter came out of Cal from the portal. So they've upgraded the spots around him. And I think they just believe move the ball downfield, trust your skill guys. They have the quarterback who can play pitch and catch as well as anybody, obviously a former 5-star in Rhule. So I think that's the Nebraska that's going to look maybe a little different than people are used to. 2 years ago in Matt Rhule's first season, they really didn't have that guy. They were running option plays out of necessity. Last year, you have a true freshman out there doing his thing, and now he's got that experience to go along with the talent and the preparation that he always has. So that to me is the most fascinating part, is can this offense take a step forward? They have a veteran, deep offensive line that's going to help pave the way. And now it's just a matter of how that translates into the Big Ten. But I think it should do it certainly better than what Nebraska's seen in the recent past.
Yeah. I think it was last year also 3-0 before they suffered their first loss. Am I correct with that?
They were 3-0. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, a chance, like you said, to just take the next step and move forward. What do you see in this Michigan team so far that concerns you in terms of coming in? Here's a team again, had the loss. I thought they played well, but in a similar situation, just as Nebraska was last year with a true freshman at quarterback, comes in with all the hype. I can't wait to see kind of the two of them match up, and the chess match in terms of each defensive coordinator trying to stymie the other, with both young quarterbacks, obviously, with Rhule having the year experience.
Yeah, for sure. 2 former 5-star prospects going at it in Lincoln. Bryce Underwood had his coming out party against Central Michigan. And I think what was interesting about his first few games is how he sort of was let loose to do his thing. I mean, he could run the ball and was explosive with his legs. I think he had 2 rushing touchdowns last week. And that's notable for Nebraska because those mobile quarterbacks have been a thing that's given this defense in recent years issues at times. And we saw that in the opener against Cincinnati. Brendan Sorsby, the Bearcats quarterback, was sort of able to ad-lib and improvise his way down the field at times when a pretty good Nebraska secondary had those receivers blanketed. So what maybe 3 weeks ago looked like, a true freshman who's going to stay in the pocket and be part of a conservative Michigan offense, suddenly that becomes, hey, this is a guy who's got incredible athletic ability, who you're going to have to account for, not just with his arm downfield, but on 3rd and 6, like you need to find a way to contain him and make sure he doesn't bust loose and get those first downs. So that to me is the matchup of the game, is how does the Nebraska front 7 account for Underwood's mobility there? Again, he has the weapons around him to be a passer, but you listen to Michigan too, and they've said, hey, what we learned from that Oklahoma game is let the guy do his thing. And so this is going to be a different sort of attack than what the Wolverines showed at Oklahoma. Big challenge for Nebraska. It should be a ton of fun to see 2 guys really playing at the upper end of their games in different sort of ways.
Yeah, and watching on national TV as we're talking with Evan Bland again. He's a sports writer for the Omaha World-Herald. That Oklahoma game, I thought that Underwood, one thing I thought was unusual was maybe his release was low. He had 3 or 4 passes batted down at the line of scrimmage. That you don't see that much. And to your point, they got him out. I thought last week is what the doctor ordered: just get out and just release the hounds, right? I mean, scoring 63 points against the Chippewas, it had to feel good there in Ann Arbor. But another program, very similar to Nebraska, with great pride. Still just 1 year removed from a national title, but all the scandal off the season, off field, they're trying to cleanse themselves of that as far as the way this program goes. But again, another team I think that really would like to get a win here to prove themselves. They did lose the one marquee game, the one at Oklahoma, that again they played well, but and so here's a team as well that would like to come in and keep Nebraska from going 4-0 and joining that conversation of Big Ten championships and possibly a college football playoff berth.
For sure. I mean, they're motivated. They're a blue blood, and yeah, they're probably not the 23 version of themselves that steamrolled their way to a national championship, but it's a program that knows how to win. I'm always struck whenever I see Michigan in person, just the caliber of athletes that they have in warmups. Even it's just like, wow, like these guys are long, they're explosive, they're big. It's hard to out talent Michigan. So if you're not going to out talent them, you have to execute well. You have to have a strong game plan, and it's a program I think that's still kind of finding itself under Sharon Moore a little bit. This isn't the same identity necessarily that what we saw with Jim Harbaugh. The offense is going to be a little more modern, a little more up tempo. I think the defense continues to be really salty and strong, and it's going to be hard to get much of a push in the run game against that defensive front. But I mean, yeah, if you're Michigan, this is a group of guys that are used to beating Ohio State every year. This is a group that's used to being in contention. They're playing in front of huge crowds every week, just like Nebraska is. So these are teams that are peers in a lot of ways. And if you're an older fan, you can go back and even have that argument about 1997 and who should have been the lone national champ. So there's some history here now with these teams as well. And Michigan obviously is always looking to contend in the Big Ten. That's an annual goal for them. Nebraska's trying to get to that point. And so just kind of where those programs meet on Saturday is going to be really fascinating.
I think the schedule is one that let's just, hypothetical. Nebraska gets the win, national TV. They vault into the rankings at 4-0 next week. You look at their schedule. This is a very favorable schedule for Nebraska, Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern, and then comes USC later, which many think have been undervalued. They're 25th right now going into the weekend. UCLA, which may not win a game this year, and then you get number 2 Penn State. Look, this is the schedule Iowa to finish the season that if you get past this game, a 10-2 season, again, third year for Matt Rhule, 10 wins or more, would not be out of the question.
No, it wouldn't. First, I would say like the way that college football is now, where there's so much more parity, and certainly the power has been consolidated in the Big Ten and the SEC. I would say even a 9-win season in that environment would be the same as a 10-win season in 2019 or 2016 Temple or whatever it might be. Sure. So you win 9 with that schedule, you're still in that CFP conversation. At the very least, you're talking, New Year's Day sort of bowl games and playing some pretty marquee games. But yeah, I mean, you win this game, you're moving forward with momentum against Michigan State, like you mentioned. Maryland, Minnesota's a tricky one. That's a team Nebraska hasn't beaten in Minneapolis in more than a decade. That's always been one that's given them trouble. It doesn't really move the needle nationally, but that's one that they've had a lot of issues with over time. And then you mentioned USC coming to Lincoln in November. Who knows? It could be 25 degrees, and those Los Angeles guys maybe aren't loving that necessarily. So who knows where that's going? And then Iowa has its own issues I think it's working through right now too. So yeah, I mean, the schedule does line up. One of the things that we'll see with Nebraska is even when they're perceived to be good in a lot of recent years, they still find a way to stub their toe on one or two of these matchups. They'd find a way to lose to Michigan State, or they'd find a way to lose to Maryland when they shouldn't. So it's not going to be just about these big games, which Saturday certainly is. It's also going to be about, can you take care of business when you're favored by 6.5 and be the better team and not let down on the moments when the stakes maybe aren't so obviously high. So a lot of tests both ways, but like I said before, I do feel like that just the psyche of this group is in a place where they're so driven to be the best version of themselves that who's on the other side maybe doesn't matter as much, or those, it just doesn't make them as wildly inconsistent as they've been in recent years.
Yeah, that's true. And that's where, again, the kind of like you said, the culture shift, happening there under Matt Rhule in his third year. One of the schedule quirk is kind of interesting when you're in the Big Ten. This is going to happen. The schedule makers sending Nebraska to UCLA for one game, and then the next game they go to Central Pennsylvania to take on number 2 Penn State. So it's just life in the Big Ten these days. It is what it is. So
yeah, you're a national league now, right? You're playing in 3 different time zones all over the place. It's like you got to earn it every week.
Exactly. Yeah. This is you play the games in front of you. It's all you can do. Evan, always great to get your insights. Listen, enjoy Saturday. What a great atmosphere it's going to be there. We know it's going to be 92,000 plus. They always come out big red to support the Cornhuskers. And look, we think that the future is brighter for the Huskers. So hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me, Larry.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Once again, Evan Bland joining us. He's a sports writer for the Omaha World-Herald and talking about this weekend's big game. It is Nebraska hosting number 21 Michigan, 2:30 Central Time start, 3:30 East Coast, and that is on CBS. Okay, we've got more to come. It's a Sports IQ right here.
Fans of big sports radio and sports spectacular podcasts have a new home on the Chief Sports Network. Find your favorite programs and content all in one place by downloading the Chief Sports app in your mobile device. Created in South Carolina, the Chief Sports Network is the home of an expanding network of live and podcast format programming. It is also the home of one of the leading national college football podcasts, JC and Morgan, hosted by ESPN's Mike Morgan and 24/7 Sports' JC Sherbert. Download the Chief Sports app for free and find all of your favorite programming under one easy umbrella. Thanks to all of our markets for your loyal support of Big Sports Radio and our Sports Spectacular podcast, and we look forward to connecting with you anywhere in the world on the Chief Sports app.
Everything is expensive right now. Gas, food, you name it. You're spending more, you are making the same or less money. So, what do? You rack up credit card debt. That's what you do. It's not your fault. It's the economy. And guess what? If you rack up too much credit card debt like some of us, you can't pay your bills. Then the credit card companies, as nice as they are, start hounding you for money. Then you start your downward spiral. A smart thing for you to do is to call the Zero Debt. They can help you consolidate all your credit card bills into one affordable payment. Millions of people have done it. It works to make you debt-free. Make this free call right now. It costs you nothing to learn more.
800-507-7293. 800-507-7293. 800-507-7293. That's 800-507-7293.
You're listening to Sports IQ with Larry Smith.
Let's take a look around the majors right now and see just what is what. In Kansas City, Cal Raleigh, just what a year he's had. Pair of homers to match the Seattle single-season record set by King Griffey Jr. Dominic Canzone belting a career-best 3 homers of his own. The AL West leading Seattle Mariners routing the fading Royals 12-5 on Tuesday. Their 10th win in a row. Raleigh's first homer was a 419-foot shot off Michael Wacha while batting left-handed. Gave him 55 on the season. That breaks the record for a switch hitter set by Yankees great Mickey Mantle back in 1961. His second shot, 425-footer off Daniel Lynch IV, as he batted right-handed. That tied the club mark that Griffey set during the 1997 season and matched the following year. 10th multi-homer game this season for the Big Dumper and the 20th of Raleigh's career. The All-Star catcher also doubled in the first inning, finished 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, giving him 119 runs batted in on the year. The Astros remain a half game behind the Mariners in the AL West. Jeremy Payne did 3 for 3 with a walk, scored twice. Jose Altuve drove in 2 runs as the Astros held on Tuesday with a 6-5 win over Texas. Cleveland won its 5th straight win last night. Steven Kwan, Angel Martinez, Jose Ramirez, and Kyle Manzardo combining to give Cleveland 4 extra base hits in an extra inning for the first time in 64 years as the Guardians beat Detroit 7-5-10, chalking up their 10th win in their last 11 games. Time might be running out, though, but the Guardians now only trail the Tigers by 5.5 games in the Central. They have made some ground here in September. The Jays continue to lead the AL East, Toronto beating Tampa 6-5. That's their 6th straight win. The Blue Jays seeking their first division title since 2015 as they maintain a 5-game lead over second-place New York with just 11 to play. In the National League, the Dodgers getting 5 no-hit innings from Shohei Ohtani, but the bullpen fell apart like a cheap umbrella in a hurricane last night. For the second night in a row, Philadelphia rallied in the late innings to beat L.A., this time Blake Treinen giving up a 3-run shot in the top of the ninth to propel Philly to the 9-6 win. San Diego, though, failed to capitalize on the Dodgers' bullpen woes. Brett Batty hit a 2-run homer as part of a 5-run New York first inning. New Yorkers taking an 8-3 decision. First time in 2 weeks, the Mets have won 2 in a row. Meanwhile, Jordan Lawler's infield single with the bases loaded scored Corbin Carroll with the winning run of the ninth. The Diamondbacks erasing an early 4-run deficit to keep pace in the playoff race by beating the Giants 6-5. Arizona remains a game and a half behind New York for the final NL wildcard spot as the Giants fall 3 back. In the NFL, the Bengals look, they just collecting quarterbacks for a while, with Joe Burrow being out. Cincinnati adding veterans Mike White, formerly of the Bills. Jets and Green Bay cast off Sean Clifford to the practice squad for the time being. It'll be a battle of backups when Minnesota takes on the Bengals on Sunday. J.J. McCarthy dealing with an ankle injury for the Vikings. Looks like Carson Wentz will start in his place. Minnesota also without Aaron Jones, who was placed on IR with the hamstring injury. Of course, as we talked about yesterday, the Bengals are without Joe Burrow for 3 months, maybe again for the rest of the year, as we mentioned just a moment ago, with that turf toe. By the way, I looked up what turf toe is. Great story on yahoosports.com. Heard about turf toe for decades, right? Turf toe. This guy's got turf toe. Basically, it's where like the muscles and the ligaments begin like separating. Like it's really a nasty injury. Burrows, by the way, is a grade 3, which is the worst you can get. So, I mean, it is. I thought it was just like, I don't know, like a bruise or a sprain or something, but it's much worse than that. No wonder he'll need surgery and he's out a while. Bad news. Okay, more college football talk is coming up next on the Sports IQ.
Attention business owners. Have you filed for your employee retention credit and been approved? Are you now waiting for your refund check from the IRS? Instead of waiting months to a year plus, how would you like to get your ERC money in about 10 days? Now you can. With ERCmoneyUpfront.com, we help business owners that have filed their employee retention credit and been approved to get their money faster. If you're getting between $75,000 and $5 million, we could get you up to a 70% advance on that money in about 10 days. To learn more about how you can get your ERC money faster, call this number right now. Speak with one of our funding specialists and have a text sent to your cell phone with details.
800-279-0419. 800-279-0419. 800-279-0419. That's 800-279-0419.
This is not a loan product except in California. An offer is not available in the state of Massachusetts.
How would you like to get high-speed internet for your home for less than $2 a day? That's right. For about $50 a month, you'll get lightning-fast internet. Are you paying less than $50 a month right now for your internet? Then call Whole Home Connect right now for blazing fast internet at $50 a month with no price increases, no hidden fees, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees. It's a great deal. And guess what? You can try it for 15 days. If you don't like it, you get your money back. But you're gonna love it. And you're gonna love the price. Internet for your home for $50 a month. That's less than $2 a day. Plus, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees, and our 15-day guarantee. Call now. 800-215-0341. 800-215-0341. 800-215-0341. That's 800-215-0341.
You're locked in to Sports IQ with Larry Smith.
Welcome back here again. More college football talking about in the SEC. You know that every single week is going to be a challenge, and there's one this week coming up here for Missouri. Tigers are in the top 25, taking on a South Carolina team, all of a sudden with a lot of questions. This is a team that was, top 15. They're thinking playoffs, and all of a sudden they're not sure what they have right now in Columbia. The other Columbia, but we're talking about this Columbia, Missouri, and joining us once again on the show, we're glad to have him back, is Calum McAndrew. He's the Missouri beat reporter for the Columbia Tribune. They're in Missouri. How are things in Mizzou land these days?
Pretty good. Yeah, I mean they're on a bit of a roll at the moment over the past sort of, I guess, two and a quarter seasons. I believe they're up to a 26-5 record in that time span. So the feelings are pretty good around town. That since the start of the 2023 seasons, things have taken a turn for the better for Eli Drinkwitz and company.
It feels like Missouri is always that team that sits just outside the fringe, right? They're at the top of that heap of teams in the SEC that doesn't get talked about because there's only so much oxygen in the room, and it's it's Georgia, it's Alabama, it's Auburn, it's Texas, Texas A&M is big, South Carolina was big last year, Vanderbilt had a big win, and then Missouri's just sitting here and just consistently playing great football week in, week out, and it just feels like that maybe here's a chance to get a win this weekend and climb back into that conversation as a team that deserves to be discussed among the elite in the SEC.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. You win, if Mizzou wins this game this weekend, it's a 4-0 start to the season. They are a unanimous top 25 pick around the country. But this kind of the overlooked, the sort of the redheaded stepchild element that you're talking about there, that I think it's kind of worked for them. I mean, it is a coach's dream to be able to have that preloaded chip on your shoulder. You're not having to fabricate anything when people are overlooking you and what you've done. I mean, Mizzou has two double-digit win seasons, 2023 and 2024 in back-to-back years. It's only the third time that's ever happened in program history. They've been fielding really, really good teams, and you look at what they've been able to acquire in the transfer portal, there really wasn't much reason for that not to be the case again this season. So they've been able to utilize that. It's something that you hear on a daily basis around the program. It's something that they've utilized. I think it's something that they like, kind of being out of the spotlight a little bit and being able to come in and win these games that a lot of people don't expect them to. They've been a fun team to watch so far this season, but this is their biggest test. South Carolina is far and away, more so than Kansas, the best team that they've played, even whatever struggles they've got going on. This is going to be a real proving grounds for them in the 2025 season.
No question. Coming up here Saturday night. This is, by the way, in Missouri. I'm not going to say Columbia because it'll just go, wait, what are you? Which one? This is going to be at Missouri, and like you said, it's a big matchup. Something you brought up a minute ago about this program that I don't think many college football fans are aware of. Back-to-back 10-win seasons. Why is it that Missouri doesn't get the attention it deserves?
I think it is part and parcel of being where they are located in the league. I mean, I think there's probably a lot of SEC fans that still consider Mizzou that kind of outlier, that far away team up north and west. I think that's part to do with it, and also because they really haven't. And I don't want to come off overly critical because they do have 21 wins in 2 straight seasons, but they haven't logged that major punch yet. They haven't, the losses that they've taken in these 2 seasons were LSU in a game that they could have won, against Georgia, where they had Georgia pinned in the fourth quarter. They were driving to take the lead in Athens and really could have logged a win that would have made them a playoff team at that point in the season. Even going to last season, they got thrown around by Texas A&M. They got thumped by Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and Brady Cook was injured, which was obviously a big problem at quarterback there. But they just haven't logged that marquee victory yet. They've got top 25 wins, they've got some decent road wins under their belt, but they haven't got one of those blue bloods, one of those big dogs that'll take them to where they want to be, and that is a college football playoff team. They're going to need to do it this season. I think South Carolina is a pretty good opportunity for a good win, but you need those marquee wins, I think, if you want to kind of rise to that national prominence. I think more people would take notice if those 10-win seasons had one of those games where you turn on ESPN and that's the highlight they're showing.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got a chance here coming up with Alabama and Texas A&M both coming to Columbia, Missouri. Let's talk about this weekend. You mentioned again the Gamecocks coming in. Really, like I said, boy, a lot of soul searching right now in Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah. Getting just pancaked 31-7 by a Vanderbilt team that may be better than what we thought. But about this Missouri team, what makes this Tigers team so special this year in 2025?
From what we've seen so far, it's the run game. I mean, it is ludicrous what they are putting up on the ground at the moment. I mean, they are really establishing the run against. I mean, the three teams they've played so far: Central Arkansas, Kansas, and Louisiana Lafayette, really don't play a ton of defense. It's not exactly their specialty area. But Missouri has really run the ball exceptionally well. The number I'll give you that I think highlights this: Ahmad Hardy was a Group of 5 transfer from Louisiana Monroe to Mizzou this season in his sophomore year. He leads the SEC with 452 rushing yards. 334 of those have come after contact, after being hit. For reference, South Carolina has 330 rushing yards, 4 fewer total. He has more yards after contact than this entire SEC football team.
Wow.
He is an incredible runner. And the thing is, they've got another top 10 rusher in the SEC in Jamal Roberts, who's putting up incredible spots in third down back, change of pace back situations. And they've got a quarterback who can run the ball in Bo Perbula. Penn State used him a series every week last season en route to the college football playoff because he could run the ball. They are an elite team on the ground this year. They're gonna give a lot of teams a lot of problems from what we've seen so far, because they've got Matt Hardy bouncing off contact like a bowling ball. They've got a quarterback who you can draw up these runs for at any given moment. They've got a third down back who really is excellent in short yardage situations and has taken a huge step this year. That's the strength of this team. That is how they're going to beat a lot of teams this year.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that the quarterback is doing well. I know, again, sitting behind Drew Aller, this is what happens. You bring in a quarterback per class, and there's going to be guys who leave because somebody's going to win the quarterback battle, and then the other guys want playing time. The great thing is you get an experience. You're not taking somebody out of high school. We don't see that very often anyway. Nebraska, a couple of places, Michigan. But you get a guy now who's got some talent, some experience, and played for a really good program over here and brings that winning culture to what's already a successful situation there at Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, he's been better than I thought he was going to be. I think expectations were pretty high because of what he showed he could do as a runner, as kind of a wrinkle. He himself called it a gimmick, what he did at Penn State, which I thought was pretty funny. But no, he's come in, and what's really impressed me, nobody knew if he could pass because he never did at Penn State. Really, he came in for one half in a Wisconsin game last season and got them across the line to win. But again, that was mostly running the football. They mostly they drew up plays to get him moving, get the offense moving like that. He's come in and he's been one of the most accurate. He leads the SEC in completion percentage. So you're combining this really, really good rushing ability, this extreme athleticism, and you're parsing it with, hey, this guy's delivering balls in accurate locations. He's putting receivers in stride. He's really showing some good versatility in the passing game. His average depth of target is still pretty close to 9 yards, which is, this isn't a dink and dunk offense. He's throwing the ball around the field. He's taking some deep shots, which we just didn't think was going to happen. We thought he was going to be this runner. So it's been a natural bridge from Brady Cook last season, who had a lot of success at Missouri. And he's so far, he's maybe even elevated the offense on that front, I would say. A really impressive addition. I've been impressed with him.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I know he's got to throw field rocking there in Columbia. So a big game this weekend. So we're talking again to Calum McAndrew. He's a Missouri beat writer for the Columbia Tribune. What concerns you right now? Obviously, we talked about South Carolina having a lot of issues. One, their quarterback going down with the injury. They do have a veteran guy in their backup quarterback who comes in, knows the system, and is respected if Sellers can't go. What concerns you, though, about the South Carolina team that maybe they figured things out this week and they're a tougher opponent than what we might think?
I'll give you one on each side of the ball that I think kind of hit on where I'm still watching and thinking Missouri can grow a little bit this year along the offensive line. So Missouri had a strange preseason along the offensive line. They have a preseason All-American left guard in Caden Green, really highly touted player. A lot of people giving him day 1, day 2 draft consideration. About midway through fall camp, they decided to bump him out to left tackle because they didn't really trust who they had out there. So they've moved this preseason All-American out to left tackle. That created a bit of a musical chair situation where suddenly you have to move the right guard over to left guard. Suddenly you have to elevate a backup into the right guard spot. So they already had a transfer at right tackle. So you're currently looking at 4 new pieces essentially along the offensive line, when you factor in all the change in places. And it's kind of looked like that at times so far. They've created big holes in the run game, but there has been a little bit of a problem in pass protection. Perdula, as we've talked about, good scrambler, good runner. He's been able to deal with that pressure, and he showed a little bit of poise in the passing game when there has been pressure in his face, and he's been able to deliver accurate balls still. But that can't continue when Dylan Stewart's coming to town. That's not going to work. That's you're not playing Louisiana anymore. You're now playing one of the best SEC edge rushers, which makes him one of the best edge rushers in the country. So it's you got to figure that out. And they have got better incrementally each week, but that is something that they're really going to have to shore up, is pass protection. On the other side of the ball, it's Lenora Sellers, man. He's elite. He's great. If he is healthy to go, and Eli Drinkwitz said yesterday that they are preparing as if he will be. They are anticipating that he will play this week. He not only is he an elite player, he does something that Missouri has really, really struggled with. And that is the way that he moves the pocket. That's the way he shifts the pocket. That's the way he's able to scramble and run and take off. Missouri has had really poor discipline in zone coverage. They bite too quick when the quarterback is threatening to take off to run. You'll sometimes see that free safety step up a little bit too fast, and that has left open receivers downfield. This has been a problem for a couple of seasons now. It showed in the Kansas game again. It was something that I was kind of keeping an eye on, and they made mistakes on that front again against Jalen Daniels, another really mobile quarterback, a guy who can do a lot of similar things to Lenora Sellers. Plays a very similar-ish game. That's something that they're going to have to watch out. Sellers can hurt you in a lot of ways. We saw it last season when he threw for 353 and 5 touchdowns against Missouri and single-handedly won that game. I mean, that was maybe the best individual performance I saw at a game all season covering Missouri last year. So they're going to have to watch out for that as well, especially with their own disciplinary, coverage discipline issues.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And as we know, again, the SEC, really college football, you can't take anybody for granted, but you get the win this week. You've got UMass next week, and then again, you've got the run of 4 straight ranked teams: Alabama, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M. And so again, we're going to find out here pretty quickly what this Mizzou team has here in 2025. Calum, always great to have you on the show. We appreciate you taking a few minutes to give us the insights there. Enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll be knocking on your door very soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, sir. Thanks so much, my friend. Once again, Calum McAndrew. He is the Missouri beat reporter for the Columbia Tribune. Glad to have him here on the show on Sports IQ. We've got more to come. We're talking coaching news. What's up with Clemson? What are y'all thinking? That's next.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. That's 800-373-8414. Hey, airline travelers, let's say you have a problem and you need to change or cancel an existing airline reservation. What do? Well, Skywatch is a free service that can help anyone with any airline reservation fix it. Whether you want to cancel it, change your dates, or add passengers, we can help fix your airline reservations so you get exactly what you need. We've updated our computer database and now have access to every airline around the globe. So now you can make one phone call regardless of who booked your airline tickets, and we'll change it, cancel it, and fix it for you. We know the insider secrets to fixing reservations that the airlines don't want you to know about. So if you need to cancel, change, or modify an existing airline reservation, call Skywatch right now. It's a free call, so let us fix it for you. 800-413-7158. 800-413-7158. 800-413-7158. That's 800-413-7158.
And great to talk college football here as we get ready for another big weekend. Week 4, so many games coming up here. Producer Tony talking now. We were discussing before the show about weird how just the coaching news. Okay, UCLA and Virginia Tech, they make moves after 0-3 starts. Okay, kind of feels like the NFL, right? I mean, it's just pretty early on. All these coaches have multi-million-dollar buyouts, so this is not a cheap decision that they're making, right? Now, as we were talking, there are fans who want Dabo Swinney out at Clemson, and we were talking about we just don't. Yeah, they're 1-2. Okay, but we're both scratching our heads here. Whatever hair we have left, we're scratching our heads.
I don't understand, Larry. I don't understand where fans are coming from. You're not going 12-0 every single season all the time. It's not like Clemson lost to Southwest East Idaho State in a tight game they should have won by 70. They lost to LSU, which is sitting third in the country. And it was a close game, despite them not really playing well. And Dabo admitted they didn't play well. They lost to Georgia Tech, who right now might have the Heisman Trophy front runner for their team in Haynes King. And you've still got Clemson people out there saying, well, maybe it's time to move on. Maybe the game has passed them by. This is the longest stretch of success for Clemson football in program history. And it ain't even close. I mean, Danny Ford was good. Dabo has gone light years past what Danny Ford did at Clemson. If you are advocating for this man to be out of his job at Clemson, you don't know college football, and you're also talking about getting rid of a guy who has helped turn really good human beings into great men along the way. He believes in a family atmosphere there, and I haven't seen too many negative stories about Clemson players while they're at Clemson doing bad things. I don't know what else you want from a head coach. If there's something else out there, please let me know, because I don't see it. Look, the Virginia Tech, UCLA, the only problem with that is you're 3 games in. If you had any inkling, you should have done it before the season. Yeah. Because when you make an in-season move like this, you've set your program back 3 or 5 years.
Yeah. Unless you have a guy like Dabo Swinney on staff when he replaced Tommy Bowden way back in 2008, right of the ship then. By the way, even including that year and every year since, Clemson has never missed a bowl with Dabo calling the shots. And here's what's crazy. In the last 14 years, now in year 2, they went 6-7, they went 6-6, and then they lost in their bowl game, the Meineke Car Care Bowl, right? Way back. Okay. So in the 14th season since then, Dabo has missed not a winning season. He's missed 10 wins once in 14 years. They finish in the top 25 every year. The program has 3 national titles, one under Danny Ford back in 81. Guess who has the other 2? Dabo Swinney. I'm with you. It's a case, I think, where you almost, when excellence is the norm, you get bored with it and you think someone's better. There is nobody better coming in, Clemson, who can do better than what this guy is doing. And to your point, not just on the field, but off the field. Like you said, you never hear of stuff. The Deshaun Watson stuff happened years later in Houston. That was after he left the program. But you never hear of stuff of players with DUIs or, they're committing crimes on campus. You never hear about that kind of stuff there. Like you said, there's no perfect program, but Clemson is about as good as it gets right now under Dabo Swinney.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way that you can see anything other than that. And, I understand fan bases get frustrated. Look, I'm a Notre Dame fan. Am I frustrated at 0-2? Yeah. We lost to 2 top 10 teams. I'm disappointed. Sure. Do I want to see Marcus Rhule fired? Absolutely not. It's in the best shape the program has been in years. Let the man ride it out and right the ship. Same thing for Clemson. Let them ride. He'll figure it out. You're still probably going to win 9 or 10 games. And if you win your bowl game, that's another 10-win season. You may not make it to the playoff like you thought you might, but you still have that possibility. And you're just ready to dump everything now is just crazy to me. I don't understand what some fan bases are looking for in their program. I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, there are 130-ish programs in college football, 120 28 of them would love to have Dabo Swinney. Look, we just talked about 13 double-digit win seasons in 14 years. I'm an Illinois fan, right? How many has Illinois had in its program history? 130 years? 5 10-win seasons. You just had 13 out of 14. Take a chill pill. It's okay. Relax. Saturday's coming. Wins are coming. You're going to be fine. Okay, a really cool moment of awe is next.
Packages start at $29.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-613-8053. 800-613-8053. 800-613-8053. That's 800-613-8053.
Okay, time now for our moment of awe, and this is so cool. Lamar Wilkerson may not be a name that's familiar to you. He was a guard who, in the past 3 years, worked up his basketball talent at Sam Houston State, entered the transfer portal, winds up in Indiana, gets some big NIL dollars, and one of the top three-point shooters in the country, and expected to really help the Hoosiers this year in Big Ten play. Well, what he did after he left the program, he turned around and made a 6-figure donation back to Sam Houston State. He said the reason why, he told the Field of 68, he said, I did it out of love. I did it out of love for these guys. I just want to see them succeed. So again, we talk about all the dollars and going on. So many of these young men and young women are making donations to charities and programs, and they don't get talked about. So Lamar Wilkerson, you're the man. Mad props. Much love. That's our moment of awe. Hey, I appreciate our guest stopping by today. Appreciate you as well. Let's make it a great day, and we'll do it again tomorrow here on the Sports IQ.
Thanks for listening to Sports IQ with Larry Smith, Monday through Friday. Continue the conversation at Sports IQ LS. We'll see you next time.